I'm the hippopotamus, rhymes with Holocaust, popping off the top of this esophagus, rocking this metropolis. I'm not a large water-dwelling mammal. Where did you get that preposterous hypothesis? Did Steve tell you that, perchance? Steve. Yeah.
What was that all about?
You said we're doing bad raps today.
Oh, Brett, you're as bad as me. Bad reputations.
Bad reps.
On some animals.
Sorry.
But that
was my...
Amazing.
No.
That was so cool.
Thank you.
I've
been practicing.
It showed. It showed.
You.
That was wonderful.
I didn't write that.
So,
I did not write that one.
So, let's come back to the Zoo EDventures program.
Right, that's what we're doing today.
10 o'clock on Wednesdays.
Bad reps.
Bad reputations.
Reputations.
That animals have that are undeserved, totally.
Undeserved reputations.
So, Steve's in front of the camera.
Brett's going to be behind the camera. And also in front of the camera right now.
Although maybe we should have her in front a little more often.
Aw, thank you.
I think it's fun. All right, Brett, let's go ahead out. Let's see if we can change some of your minds on some of these bad reputations from animals here from North Carolina Zoo. Stay tuned. Brett, have you started the video?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Black bears. Bad reputation, what do you think?
For opening my dumpsters, yeah.
They opened your dumpsters?
No, but opening dumpsters in general.
Oh,
or car doors.
Yeah? What are they looking for?
Probably all that food in there.
Food. And they know they've associated those dumpsters and that car with food. How come?
Probably because people keep leaving them in there.
Right. They leave the food out there. Or they feed the animals.
Oh, yeah. Don't do that.
Right. Don't do that. Black bears, your dumpster, your trash can, your lunchbox, your picnic basket is not their typical food source. They're really only going to get involved in that if they've been fed. And then, as some of you probably know, that only leads them down a bad path. So if we are responsible when we're out camping, if we are responsible when we're out hiking and managing our own food supplies, so the bears don't get habituated, they don't get used to where they can find food, they're going to keep looking for food where they should be. They're going to be digging. They're going to be foraging. They're going to be looking for berries on their own time. They're not going to be looking for food from people. They won't be looking to people for food. So, digital friends, I want you to raise your right hand and say, I pledge to not feed bears and most wildlife for that reason.
I pledge to not feed bears and most wildlife for that reason.
Thank you very much. And I am sure that a lot of our digital friends are doing the same thing because it can only lead to a tragic result. So please, 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 let's let Mother Nature feed the bears. They don't need our help. Black bears with a really undeserved bad reputation. Bees. Bees, Brett.
Bees.
How about that? B for Brett.
B for me.
There you go. A lot of misunderstandings with bees. Digital friends, they're not out to get you. They don't want to sting you. That's a last minute resort, last second resort. If they feel they've got to sting you, then something really bad has happened. Now, it could have been an accident. You might have been there in the wrong place. So yeah, definitely they're going to protect themselves. Oh, double-banded scalloped wasp. I think we saw that one a minute ago. Mm-hmm. That's kind of cool.
Pretty blue wings on them.
Yep. Like the little white bands on them. Mm-hmm. And there's so many different types. So this is where you start talking about respect. This is an animal that's just out harvesting pollen, trying to take food back to the hive, to its family, to its home. In case of some bumblebees, a smaller group, the honeybees, a much larger hive. But they're just out about trying to find food. They don't want to sting you. This is their life, right? They want to find food. So if we let them do that, they're really not going to mess with us. It's when we start getting involved, we start swatting at them. We're walking across our lawn with bare feet. Then we get mad that the bee stung us? Digital friends. If you step on me, I might get a little anxious too. So we definitely want to keep all that in mind when we're out and about. And the same thing with clothing. Get this. Real dark colored clothes is a threat to bees. That's danger signs to them. So light colored clothes, if you're going to be out and about, light colored clothing, which we're going to do anyway in the summertime, is much, much safer. And here at the zoo, that's where we are right now. All these bees are at the zoo, hanging out here, harvesting some pollen, taking it back to the group, taking it back to the family. And we're here inches away in some cases, a few feet away in some cases. They could care less. They could care less. There's a really good one down here. That's another type of one of those wasps.
Can I get him? They're so small.
And then check this out. Hey, Brett, you want to show them over the little thing over here?
Yeah.
Little friends, come this way. So we are at the honeybee habitat. And look here. This is the honeybee home. This is the honeybee access tunnel, so to speak. That's how honeybees come and go. And right now there's 50 honeybees right here. 50, easy, coming in and out of there. And they don't care that Brett or I are here right now at all. Because they're taking the food back. They want to be.
Other things to think about.
Yeah, that's well said, Brett. They have other things to think about than coming over here and interacting with Brett or me in that instance. So they're coming and going. And this happens all the time. And the honeybee, it definitely doesn't want to sting you. That is literally the last thing they want to do, because if they sting you, they die.
That would be the last thing that they do.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? So they definitely don't want to sting you. So they're only going to sting in a last resort, or they feel really, really threatened. So we wanted to come and share bees with you on our misunderstanding episode, so you all might see, they've got a really important job to do. They want to do it. They just don't want to be messed with. And if you don't mess with them, more than likely, they're not going to mess with you. No, let's not go that route. All right, that was, hey, come on, digital friends. Bats. Talk about a misunderstood animal. They do so many amazing things for us in their real world. So it's important that we share this with you, I think. We're talking about misunderstood animals. Animals with a bad reputation that don't deserve that reputation. I have to, because I just hit Brett in the back of the head because it's so dark here.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
So these are vampire bats, and yes, they're sanguinivores. How's that for a science name for digital friends? They are obligate blood eaters. They have to eat blood. So I get that. Rabies, yeah, some will, but it is so rare. But I really want to look at this. They're all clumped together. They're hanging out together in almost like a family. Keeper Eric is with us right now. Is that kind of a fair thing to say, Keeper Eric?
Yeah, so these guys are pretty much grouped together as a family. We actually have a couple clumps in here. They'll kind of stay closer together, and it's normally all the same bats that kind of hang around. And what they're doing is, this is building the relationship, is kind of getting each other's smell on each other, because that's one of the main ways that they can tell each other apart.
I love that.
Right now, even though it is in the nocturnal, they're taking a quick nap, but a lot of time these guys are grooming each other and kind of spreading that scent around, and the scent's important because they're so small. A lot of people don't think vampire bats would actually have predators, but they do.
Oh, other animals will prey on them.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Hawks, especially when they're first coming out of the caves at night, they'll try and pick them up. Down in South America, you got the big harpy eagle, which would even take out monkeys. And, of course, nice little bedtime snack, a little chicken nugget. So these guys have to stay together because there's defense in numbers. And it's more that they can kind of create that illusion that it's hard for them to pinpoint them out when they're flying together. And of course, they live in cold caves, so body warmth is always good.
I love that. I love that connection to the idea of the herd, because we've talked about herd life before. We did one on a kind of predator avoidance in general.
Yep.
And we talked about herd life. That's interesting to think about with bats as well, being in these big groups, these big clumps of animals in a cave kind of also provides that safety of numbers as well for that.
Exactly.
And if we come back to kind of their role as an animal with a bad reputation that really doesn't deserve it, when you look at these insectivore bats, oh my goodness. I mean, what they do as far as controlling some of those pest populations is really important.
Oh, definitely. And I mean, we have something affecting us up here in the north, which is that not chytrid fungus, that's the frogs, the white nose syndrome.
Oh yeah, white nose.
And we already see a lot of the effects of that, where if you ever think, oh man, this year's mosquitoes seem so bad, that's because within one night, a little brown bat, which is the species most affected right now, they could take out at least 1,000 mosquitoes a night. So if you hate mosquitoes, which are actually drinking your blood up here,
well said.
You should love the bats in our area.
Wow.
And they're just getting wiped out by white nose syndrome. And the biggest thing that you can do to help support them is bat boxes are always good, but also please avoid the caves. If you're going to go in a cave, make sure that you have clean boots or anything like that, because that's actually how it was spreading. That spelunkers or people that are going into the cave had a little bit on the bottom of their boot, and then you step into a cave.
Unknowingly.
Exactly.
So now, as we've learned and we know a little bit different, an opportunity for us to do something right, do something good, watch our footwear when we're going in and out of those caves. That's a great thing, Eric. Thank you so very much for that.
You guys are so cute. I think they're adorable.
They are very much that. There's a lot of really cool things. So, digital friends, an animal that is misunderstood wrongly. This is an amazing animal. We need to make sure that we're out and about, taking care of them and making sure they have an opportunity. So, as Eric was mentioning, if you're out and about caving in North Carolina, especially with that white nose syndrome issue, be aware of what you're doing. Well, Eric, thank you so much for your time. It's been awesome to talk about this really misunderstood animal who we can get some more information out there about. Bats in general, but come back to vampire bats, and as you mentioned, the insect-eating bats here in North Carolina. Thanks again so much for your time.
Oh, no problem. Always glad to show off these guys.
Awesome. Aww. Very, very good to hear. All right. Thank you. Brett?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What are you showing everybody?
There's a wolf.
There's a wolf?
Yeah, there's a wolf.
You sure?
Yeah, it's right. It's right.
Trying to.
It's right there.
That's it.
That's it.
Nice.
Oh. You hear the frog.
And the bullfrogs decided to say hello too. So wolf poked his head up. Bullfrog going out. Oh, there's another. Hey, Brett, come here. Look back. Just lay down. Anyway, so bad raps, Brett. Bad reputations, undeserved. Reputations, undeserved. Wolves in general. Completely and totally. They are not out there rampaging across the lands looking for you, looking for your pets,
Three little pigs,
looking for your cattle. They're not out there looking for that. They're built to be predators on the prey that's in their habitat. Now, that does not mean that yes, if they were to come across something, they go, you know what, that might be something I can eat. That's not high on their list. They're not out there hunting people. There are some stories of people being attacked. This is the red wolf, and that's what we're focusing on right now. People being attacked by the red wolves. And all of the studies show those attacks weren't by red wolves. They were done oftentimes by feral dogs that might be traveling in packs, larger groups. Red wolves, their primary prey isn't that big. So we are not high on the menu of these animals. I think it's important to remember. We need to make sure that we do that research. Understand the animals that we are going to be out and about with sometimes. So the wolf in general gets a really bad rap for taking pets, for hunting people, looking at cattle and calves. Yes, I'm not going to be here and say, never. But it's not their main prey item. They're not going to go out there looking for it. If it comes off into a territory, they might look at it as a food item. But they're not striving. They're not looking exclusively for prey items like that. Raccoons, rabbits, nutria, in the case of the red wolf, are their prey items. They're not looking for anything much larger than those small animals.
What's a nutria?
A nutria? Great question. A nutria is a large rodent, kind of nicknamed water rat, but they're much bigger than that. They're an invasive species here in the United States into North Carolina. And to have an animal like the red wolf who preys on that endangered species is really a good thing. So it'd be awesome to keep these red wolves out and about and around as much as we can. So a very undeserved bad rap for the American red wolf. Digital friends, you knew it was coming. Animals with an undeserved bad reputation. You knew it was coming. And you tuned in and stuck around anyway. So now you might as well stick around and hear why. This is Slinky. Slinky?
Yep.
This is Slinky. And you are?
I'm Christine.
Christine. No, I'm just kidding. Christine, one of our animal ambassador keepers here. So thank you so much for being with us today, Christine. And this is Slinky. Slinky's not venomous. We would not have Christine handle a venomous snake like this. We like Christine. So we want to make sure that's out here. But really important job in the wild. So does this. This is an eastern rat snake. But a lot of snakes like this have a really important job to do. Everybody immediately jumps to, oh, it's dangerous. Oh, it's going to bite me. Oh, it's going to attack me. Oh, it's going to come after me. Oh. Has it ever happened? For many of you, I don't think so. But you've heard it. Because when I ask folks a lot of times, why don't you like snakes? You know what you say? I don't know. I just don't. They've got a really important job to do out there in the world. And if we come to realize that, yeah, if I leave them alone, just like the bees we met earlier, they're not going to mess with you. They're really not. They're looking for small mice, small rats, animals of this size. And as a non-venomous animal, there's nothing to fear.
Christine, what do you feed Slinky?
Rats. Yeah.
There you go. So there's nothing to fear. They're amazing little lovable tubes. They're just gorgeous. And the role they play. And think about this. For every rat, for every mouse, listen, this is amazing. It's important. They're eating animals that are eating food that you and I eat. We like corn and wheats and things like that. They're eating the animals that eat that. And think of all the ticks, fleas, other animals on those wild rats, those wild chipmunks, small squirrels that the rat snakes are eating. Nothing would be worse than having these animals gone in your neighborhood. Those ticks, those rats, those fleas, they're carrying the diseases you can catch. So let's be really aware of the non-venomous snakes like the rat snake that live in our neighborhoods that are really doing a wonderful service for us in our own homes. Eastern rat snake and Christine. You might have guessed this one too, my digital friends. Another animal that has a very undeserved bad reputation is the spider. Keeper April right now is holding this rose-haired tarantula. Brett is 8 inches away from that rose-haired tarantula. April, any major worries that you're going to get bitten or anything?
No, not at all.
No. This spider wants to be away, going to tuck itself away, hide when it wants to in the wild. This is one of our animal ambassadors, friends. This animal goes out and does programs at schools, libraries, on video like this, hoping to dispel some of that bad reputation. Oh, but he looks so different, Steve. No, you're right. It's a spider. They do look a little different. Oh, he's covered in hairs. That's so weird. I'm covered in hair. Brett's covered in hair. Those hairs are really important to the spider. They're a sensory organ, for one, so they can feel wind coming back and forth against their skin or against their body. And the hairs on the back side there, those are used for defense. They'll kick them off if they feel threatened. That's almost like getting an eyelash or fiberglass in your eye. It's a really good defense. You can see Gwen here just moving around a little bit, checking things out. April's just like, yeah, whatevs, this is fine. Not a worry at all. Handling Gwen, the rose-haired tarantula. Think about this. You blow this animal up. I mean, the others are so weird looking. You get it up to the size of Brett or April, me, Christine you met earlier. Their throat is still the size of a straw. That's why they have the venom. Oh, but they scare me. They have to have that to survive. Without the venom breaking down their food and then sucking it back up, they're not going to make it. So it's really important to them to have that venom. It's the only way they can survive. So it's awesome to be able to share this animal with you. And look at the size. I get it. April has, you can see her hands there. It's big, big spider. But again, just hanging out. Just being another part of nature. Their job, eating those pests, munching on those small animals. That's dinner. They're not coming after you. They're not going to chase you. So let them be in their space. The tarantula, another one of our animals with a misunderstood and undeserved bad rap. I'm wrapped in a butterfly's wings. Feels so quaint here. I hope you all enjoyed that. And maybe we changed a few minds today on animals that have a very undeserved bad reputation. We're trying to change some minds. I hope we did. Zoo Adventure friends, did we? Maybe? Yes? No? Brett's shrugging her shoulders, but I think we might have. So, your Zoo Adventures team today was Steve in front of the camera.
Brett behind the camera.
Always awesome to have you with us as well, Wednesdays at 10 o'clock. Do remember, if you've missed some episodes or you want to see what else we've done, you can check out the YouTube channel for North Carolina Zoo. Just search us over there and you can find a lot of episodes, not just Zoo Adventures, but a lot of other things the zoo is taking part in as well. So I think that does it for us here at the North Carolina Zoo. Brett, do you have anything last to say?
That's a wrap.
Of course it was. Bye, everybody. Stay safe.